So, the new story is the story of Nai and Unc. Recently, Nai was at a shopping center in her hometown, minding her business, strolling along, using her shopping cart to head into a shopping center, and she met Unc. Unc stopped her and asked her for some tea, and she took notice of what he asked her, and he caught her attention, and she decided to say, "Hey, yes, of course, I'll buy you some tea." And she was happy to extend her hand of being a good Samaritan. So when she realized that he was homeless, she decided to go over and beyond to take him under her wing and to take the position as a guardian angel. So when she walked around with him, she decided to find out his story. His story was that he was homeless. So she said, "You know what? I'll get you some clothes, get you some food, get you some fluids." And then they spent the day together. And then later on that evening, she was able to clock him into a hotel and get him a room for the night where he can be able to lay his head and have some good rest. And she also was able to give him some money, some food, some clothes, so he could be able to take a shower and try to live like a normal human being for the night. But also, she decided to raise money for him and raise money for him for a good cause, which was the GoFundMe. The GoFundMe to explain his story. And she was able to raise an astonishing amount of money, over $400,000. So when the story went viral, it went viral in Fox News. And when it went viral, there was a woman that came forward who realized who this abuser was. And she took notice and came forward with a statement. And she said, "Hey, I know that guy. He's a sociopath. I was homeless back in 2015, and I was in my own space, laying on my cot. And this man came marching in my area and got on top of me, put a sheet over my head, and unleashed blows and violently, brutally attacked me. Hit me in my head multiple times, hit me in my face. He gave me a black eye." So when she came forward and made that statement, the news reporter had an interview with her and wanted to find out more about the story. She said, "Yeah, this man's a sociopath. When I saw him on the news going viral for GoFundMe for $400,000, she was astonished. She was utterly confused and utterly disgusted to look at what was going on, to find out, wow, he was able to get $400,000 raised for him?" And she was in utter disbelief and shock and had a PTSD flashback because now she's a trauma survivor of a violent criminal that attacked her while they were in the same shelter together trying to get a good night rest. So now she's in utter belief and she doesn't understand. Wow, they're raising $400,000 for him and he's a violent criminal? Shouldn't that money go for a good cause? But on the other hand, she did kind of say, well, he has my well wishes in some way, and I hope he gets the help that he needs, but he's a violent criminal. And he was out there causing all kind of violence and multiple charges against him. Just so happened a few years back, he took a screwdriver and stabbed someone in the neck, and then he faced 5 years for that because of the fact that it was considered attempted murder. So now, he's on his begging knees. He's looking for someone to have mercy on him because he wants people to know that he's helpless, he's hopeless, and he's buckling at the knees, looking for someone to give him some type of sympathy, compassion, understanding. He came across this young lady right here, Nai, who decided to take him under her wing and started to become a caretaker for him, become a guardian angel. So they're out here and women are coming forward to defend this abuser and give him more help and extend their help as well. And also victimize the victim because they're like, why is the victim coming forward? She should be complaining about this criminal when it was years ago? Why is she still complaining? But you have to understand, when you're dealing with a bunch of pygmies, the pygmy had to put on her cape and defend the abuser and always victimize the victim. So Unc looks at Nai as good supply. And looking at his background history, he's a violent criminal. He's been a monster all his life. And now he's out on his last days of dealing with prostate cancer, his new diagnosis. So he's looking for someone to take care of him because he doesn't know when the day the devil might call him home to collect his soul. Because for all his life, he was been doing the devil's work. I mean, idle time was the devil's workshop, and it definitely was under Unc. You see, Unc is now dealing with a diagnosis, and he's having a hard time dealing with it. But could it be? Does he want to be able to get the audience to sway his way? It seems like they are. There's a lot of women coming forward to defend him and try to give him a good diet and help him out with the beverages that he needs and food and clothing and give him money and possibly give him housing instead of enrolling him into a care patient hospital. So she's able to, have access to him. He has access to her. But does she realize this is a violent criminal? He's a sociopath that has mental health issues? And at any given time, he can strike and get violent and cause fear in her. Will she get the picture then? Or maybe will he not be acting violent and causing rage again because of the fact that he might be on his last days of dealing with prostate cancer? I mean, for after all, they know about this man's history. They know how violent he gets and how brutal, and the beatings was so severe that it gave her severe black eyes, and no one felt bad for her. And she wanted to know, why are all of these people taken up for the abuser, and why was he released out on the streets again to harm other vulnerable victims? They want to know. And what's the answers for his story? Well, Unc has no words. He doesn't want to be interviewed. He has nothing to say because at this point, he's on his begging knees, buckling his knees, hoping someone gets his, get him some help. And at this time around, he knows this prostate cancer is destroying his organs. And as you can look at him, he's deteriorating. But, however, other people have a bad taste about him. They don't really care for him too much because they know that he's a violent criminal. They know the way that he was treating other people out there. It wasn't something that was honorable, and it wasn't loyal, and it wasn't respectable. But nevertheless, Nay wants to help this man. She wants to make sure that he's all right. He's going to be a better person to her, I guess, because, she showed him a better way to live and how not to live like an animalistic traits and live a normal life. However, some people feel indifferent about his behavior. They do not like that he's a violent criminal. And now he's on his last, probably days of him dealing with prostate cancer. But do you think Nay is in danger? Because she could possibly be in danger. And also, you never know, a prey will prey on its prey, if you know what I mean. Will he strike her? Or will he continue to act like the humble and peasant man that he is and try to see if he can continue to get help from Nay? Because at this point, he knows that is his guardian angel. He has to possess her light. Because what we know, as for Unc, he chose a dark path. He already chose his fate, and he allowed the universe to determine his fate. So he wants to walk under Nay and walk in her light. But some people feel like he doesn't deserve that money. That money should go to the victim. Why should he get all that money? So GoFundMe is still having in deliberation whether they want to give him the money or not. Because they know he's a violent criminal. What does he need all that money for? Could it go for his housing, his medical bills? Or does he really need to enroll into a cancer hospital? Or can she help him with his treatment and give him the help that he needs? Otherwise, still people feel like, he doesn't deserve all of that. He has other victims out here that he has caused harm to. And that money should go to those victims. Keep coming back. More to be revealed.